an excellent idea.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
It doesn't come as a shocker anymore when I tell you that Ben 10 Omniverse is the franchise's most controversial entry. We all know about the redesigns, retcons, and the new animation style, along with things like the new tone and humor that turned a lot of audiences off from watching the show in general or all the way through. Not to mention Cartoon Network airing the show at 6 a.m. in its later seasons, basically killing off the show before you could all really watch the end of it. I am a Omniverse enjoyer. It's my second favorite series out of all four, and one of my favorite shows of all time, period. I was not bothered by things like the new animation style or Gwen's redesign or things of that nature. What personally bothered me about Omniverse came in its later seasons, specifically towards the end. And that problem is Skurd. Yes, I don't like Skurd.
It's not snotty. It's Skurd the slime biot. But I admire your creativity.
For those of you who don't know, or didn't watch Omniverse all the way through, which you should, Skurd is a slime biot, a creature that feeds off DNA from its host and creates these replica-like mutations, if you want to call them that grant the user extra power. He is introduced in Season 8 as we see him a part of the Nemitrix and working with Kyber, before he is then latched onto Ben for the rest of the season and is feeding off Omnitrix DNA and aiding Ben in all of his endeavors throughout the rest of Season 8. Skurd has the ability to feed and create off DNA. So a lot of what he does with Ben is, when Ben is transformed, if he's in some sort of pickle or a situation he for some reason can find himself to get out of or just needs extra help, Skurd is able to feed off his Omnitrix and give him these mutations from other transformations. For example, making a Echo megaphone for Blitzwolfer, or the numerous times he makes a block fucking grenade launcher thing for any of Ben's aliens to use. Before I get to ranting about how much I don't like Skurd, I will say what I do personally enjoy from his character. He is actually pretty funny. He has a bunch of comedic moments that actually do get a chuckle out of me.
Whatever it is you have.
It's charm, dear friend, charm. And don't you forget it.
And most of them do come from when he bickers with Ben.
Cucaracha, la cucaracha.
Ow! Okay. I'm not sure which hurts more, the whacking or your singing.
Another thing I like is some of his creations, in fact. While I'm not a big fan of them at all, some of them are pretty creative in their own right. Like I mentioned, the Echo megaphone is actually pretty creative and is one I personally enjoy seeing being used. It gives an armadillo arms to some of Ben's aliens. And even the time he gave Mustache Heat Blast maces, which in my opinion is just the coolest fucking thing, giving Mustache Heat Blast like tendrils on his mustache. It low-key makes Mustache a bit cooler than he should be, which is a point for Skurd. If you can make Mustache cool, you're doing something right. Now, if you're wondering, wow, he really didn't have many good things to say about Skurd, you would be right, and it's intentional, because the title of this video is far from clickbait, as I really do have a problem with Skurd. My biggest problem, in fact, in general with Omniverse, and that is solely because of who he's associated with. I don't like that Skurd is associated with the Omnitrix and Ben. As Asmus said in Secret of the Omnitrix is made to help the species of the universe go closer together.
I created the Omnitrix to help all the beings of the universe grow closer together. If an Earthling can make that happen, then I see no reason why he shouldn't have it.
And an ultimate alien, Ben himself said that he's a representation of everybody.
You are one of us. I am one of everybody.
So when Skurd comes along and gives Ben these abilities for his transformations that take from a different transformation and gives it to the one he's already using, I see it as like disrespect towards his transformations. Because why does Humongosaur need a block's hand launcher to be effective in combat, when the whole point of Ben should be him using the Omnitrix and what it gives him to help him out of these situations, as each alien is enough on its own if used right. When I see Skurd give people like Feedback Wild Vine Whips, or like I said, Humongosaur a block launcher, I can't help but think that the show is trying to make these transformations feel inferior. when the goal of the Omnitrix is to make everyone feel included. Feedback doesn't need whips. Humongousaur doesn't need a launcher. Ben should be able to figure out how to use these aliens' own power sets to get out of these situations, and it be enough. Because that's the whole goal of the Omnitrix. Every single alien has their own use, their own value, making them valid in any situation if the right person is using it. And Ben is way too experienced to need this sort of gimmick / training wheel ass help to get him out of situations he is more than capable of getting out of, especially when given aliens like Humongousaur and feedback. It's almost like the show forgets that Ben has been in many fights, fought many battles, and won many battles when giving aliens that he wasn't really looking for. So when he gets an alien more capable in a situation, I think he should be able to get out of it and not needing Skurd's help. I just find it just so disrespectful to the original concept of the Omnitrix and what Ben should stand for. Not to mention, some of the other constructs that Skurd builds and makes for Ben are completely fucking useless. Like the Diamond Head helmet and shield and sword, the fucking Blocks launcher, the fucking Wildvine whips, and give me Vampire just straight up feedback arms doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, this is a gimmick that doesn't really make sense to me when given to Ben. Skurd could be a lot more interesting given to an antagonist like he was given to Kyber, or someone like Albedo, who doesn't care about the Omnitrix's purpose in bringing the species together. He just wants to use it straight up as a weapon. But given to someone like Ben, who is supposed to be Noah to Noah's Ark, as Azimuth put it,
Told you that the secret of the Omnitrix is it allows you to walk a mile in the shoes of other life forms. The Omnitrix is Noah's Ark, and you are Noah.
It comes off as very disrespectful for him to use at all. It also takes away from a lot of the action. Just giving him an instant win creation takes away from a lot of the action. We could see Ben actually try to work his way, use his tactical abilities. But no, we're just going to give him feedback arms for Vampire. Like, what? It doesn't make any sense at all. Skurd just seems like a very lazy gimmick to add a little flavor to the later seasons of Omniverse as the show started to dwindle off and get ready to end itself, essentially. And to think about it even more, Ben 10K in Omniverse uses fusions, which are another disrespectful way to just weaponize the Omnitrix, just bringing two aliens together and just maximizing their potentials for strictly combat is a thing I also isn't fond of. And I hate it even more, and I hate Skurd even more when I think that he is the reason for Ben 10K using fusions, as is hinted in one of the later episodes where they cross over.
The Slime Biot! I remember you. It's been ages. Thanks for that. Never mind.
But regardless of all my hate here, I don't think Skurd should just be omitted from Omniverse. Like I said, maybe giving him back to Kyber for the Nemetrix, or giving him to Albedo, as Albedo seems like the type of guy to just use Skurd as a way to just one-up Ben, as he did the same thing with the Ultimates. You know, I think it would work better for an antagonist to use such a blasphemous concept with the Omnitrix instead of the prime user, you know, the Noah to Noah's Ark, you know, the Lisan on Gib of the Omnitrix, you know, Ben to use something like a Skurd. It just puts a bad look on him in general once you think about all the lore behind the Omnitrix, why it was created, and even the things Ben himself has said. But maybe I'm just thinking too much about it. Maybe I should just not care because it's a kid's show. They have to sell their toys. They have to get their action out.
I found antagonizing you so much fun, I would have never stuck with you. Thank you for everything, dear boy.
Thank you, Skurd. I owe you my life.
And I owe you mine.
How do you all feel about Skurd? Do you like him? What do you like about him? Do you not like him? What don't you like about him? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, like, subscribe, share. Please subscribe. Majority of you guys who watch these videos aren't subscribing. I'm trying to reach 1,000 by summertime. I'd really appreciate it if we can do that. But anyways, this has been a rant video from Dan, the Boy Wonder, signing out. Peace.